So there's a couple key items that are really neat in Workspace ONE. The digital employee experience management is going to be paramount, I think, moving forward. The ability to predictively and proactively remediate items that the end user may experience in real time is going to be great. It's going to identify those items maybe even before the end user sees it. One of the bigger items that I really like that's coming out of this is the flight recorder. The idea is that using that predictive and that intelligence, it can actually record errors as they happen and then send them to your IT staff to troubleshoot after the fact. So if your end user is unavailable or if there's constant application crashings, it can actually record that in real time and send it back to you. And then also the visibility into the end user experience score. Being able to review like a 1 to 100, how well is the user experience? Are they having application crashes, device crashes? Are they getting their notifications? Are they getting their applications properly? So the idea here is to improve the employee engagement by proactively addressing the end user desktop experience issues, which is going to be great moving forward. A really big announcement, which I think is going to be amazing here, is in Workspace ONE, they're given the ability to send notifications to employees and their devices in real time. So for example, let's say there was a disaster at a location. You can send notifications to all users at that notification and require them to specifically check in through that notification to say if they're safe or if they're still in trouble. So the idea that they can quickly identify everyone's in a safe location or if someone needs immediate assistance. And then, of course, Dell. Dell is wrapping really heavily with Workspace ONE, obviously through VMware, but also their integrations with Chromebook and Google Chrome. The idea here is they have a new laptop coming out, their Latitude, which is based solely on Google Enterprise and their integration in with Workspace ONE. But even outside of that own technology, Dell and their Chromebook specifically are working through and having their Workspace ONE agent persistence, meaning if a end user decides to just power wash their laptop in Chrome terms, then the Workspace ONE agent will stay persistent through the entire time and keep that device attached to the corporation, which I think is going to be great moving forward with these devices. And then, of course, with all these, changes with Workspace ONE and with applications, here in the next probably year or so, they finally announced that they're going to be integrating all these other AirWatch agents and the catalogs and the current Workspace ONE app into the Intelligent Hub, or now just deemed Hub. So instead of having to point your users to different applications and different catalogs based on what operating system or device they have, it's all going to be moving into Hub moving forward. So you're going to have that agnostic approach. Unified user enrollment. So this is great. This is essentially just going through and they're saying, hey, across Apple, Microsoft, and Google products, we're going to condense the amount of enrollment features and requirements for each device. So each is going to have an unmanaged, a partition, and a managed scenario. So the idea there is it's going to be giving the user, especially with a bring your own device scenario, the ability to choose how far they would like to enroll their device instead of having in prior Workspace ONE releases where you might have 5 or 6 different enrollment types. They're really trying to condense that across the board. A big item here specifically to call out for Android is they now have the ability to have a registered mode specifically for Android. And what this is kind of in between your registered across the board and manage, but it gives you additional support for BYO. And the idea here is it gives you more application sets without having to go to a full managed scenario. And this is partly due to the Google Work profile that's now available. They're able to give you more control while still giving users full access to their applications without completely turning over their devices, which is really nice. And then, of course, day one support for iOS 13. Obviously, they're working through a beta right now. They're planning on the full support day one once it actually gets released in Q4. As far as the user enrollment, the click all the way through for the user flows, which as far as iOS, they keep coming in and saying, hey, we're going to change the way that corporations and end users work. So it's definitely one of those that'll be great to see going forward.